Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. A harrowing scene has unfolded in Khost, Afghanistan, with tens of thousands of people witness to an agonizing incident. A boy merely 13 years of age pulled the trigger to carry out a public execution in the middle of a sports stadium. What could have led to such a situation? Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX Deep Dive. In today's episode, that is exactly what we will uncover. In the chilling video that report says from eastern Afghanistan's Khost, a massive crowd can be seen gathered in and around a stadium where a young boy fired the fatal shots in front of an estimated crowd of 80,000 people. Listen in.
What is it though? What is it though? Slap away with though.
The executed man, identified by Taliban officials as Mangal, had been convicted by Afghanistan's Supreme Court and approved for execution by the Taliban Supreme Leader Hibatullah Akhundzada. Mangal, in fact, had been convicted of killing a local resident, Abdul Rahman, and 12 of his family members around 10 months ago. The 13-year-old boy who carried out the execution survived the attack by Mangal that had killed 13 members of his family. Witnessed by 80,000 people, the boy shot his family's convicted killer after a brief announcement by Taliban officials. But what could have led to a 13-year-old boy being chosen to pull the trigger? Well, the answer leads us to an Islamic legal principle called Qisas. According to a statement by the Afghan Supreme Court, in Khost province, the divine order of Qisas was carried out on a murderer. At the conclusion of the gathering, prayers were made for the strengthening of national security, for the people's better access to their legitimate rights, and for the proper implementation of Islamic Sharia throughout the country. Under Qisas, retributive justice is handed out to the perpetrators, especially in crimes involving murder and intentional bodily harm. Under the Taliban's interpretation of Qisas, relatives of the victim are given the option to forgive the perpetrator. When presented with the choice, the boy refused. Taliban officials then placed a weapon in his hands and instructed him to carry out the killing. Moments later, he fired the fatal shots inside Khost's central stadium. The execution marks the 11th judicial killing carried out by the Taliban since their return to power in 2021. According to Afghanistan's Supreme Court, in the video and in photos, thousands can be seen packed inside and outside the stadium. As 5 gunshots rang out, people reportedly chanted religious slogans. According to Taliban authorities, the man was convicted after proceedings in courts of first instance, appeal, and the Supreme Court. The victims' families were reportedly offered the option of forgiveness and reconciliation, which could have spared Mangal's life, but they requested the death penalty instead. According to a witness statement, they brought the killer in front of everyone. Doctors came and followed their procedures. Then the complainant arrived and, in accordance with what Sharia permits, fired at him and shot him. Since their coming back to power, the Taliban have reinstated a strict interpretation of Sharia law, including public executions, floggings, and other corporal punishments. This echoes the practices from their previous rule in the late 1990s. Human rights organizations have repeatedly criticized the Taliban's justice system for lack of transparency, due process, and fairness. With this incident coming to light, both local and global voices are condemning it in one voice. Richard Bennett, UN Special Rapporteur on Afghanistan, strongly condemned the execution, stating that public executions are inhumane, a cruel and unusual punishment, and contrary to international law, urging the Taliban to hold public executions and retribution killings immediately. Afghan women's rights activist Gulchere Yaftali said that the Taliban have turned Afghanistan into an exhibition of brutality. Condemning the incident, she stated, "This is not justice, it is the manufacturing of a new generation of violence." By involving children in such horrific scenes, the Taliban are destroying the minds and futures of Afghanistan's youth and pushing society towards perpetual cruelty. A regime that uses children as tools of execution has no connection to law, humanity, or security. It only reproduces violence. Afghan journalist and activist Nilufar Ayubi said the 13-year-old boy pulling the trigger should be a trigger warning to the world, calling into the question the state of affairs where 80,000 people gather to watch a public execution but not to protest against the ignorance and deprivation of girls from education. The incident has once again spotlighted the return of Sharia law in Afghanistan, which was strictly imposed following the chaotic withdrawal of the US and NATO forces 4 years ago. Other imposition of the law include a ban on education for Afghan women and girls. It has become a stark reminder of the Taliban's previous rule, when public executions, stoning and floggings were common methods of enforcing the Taliban's interpretation of Islamic law, causing particular concern due to its use of a young child to execute a cold-blooded killing. Well, joining us live is Shams Ravish Ryan, Supreme Court advocate. Shams Ravish, so what do you make of this incident that has been reported from Afghanistan, the way this execution happened at the hands of a minor, and whether this is common in Afghanistan?
Well, now I could say that after watching the video, I could say that they have made it a common thing for them now. But looking into the fact of the case, that if they claim that it is a Sharia law, so as per the Sharia law, it is that either you pardon or else you let that person die. But it's not that I will hold the gun and then I will kill that person. That is not that Sharia law. As per other countries also follow the Sharia law. So they are these laws. In fact, I would say the Islamic laws that every country is talking about. Everyone changes it as per their own comfort, the way they actually want to. But if you look into the Islam was never like that. It is never like that. It always talks about peace. In fact, here in Islam, it is said that women and children should be kept on the higher ups. Whereas if you look at the Afghanistan or else such countries who have been taken over by the religious fanatics, if you look at them, you will come to know that they have totally molded the wordings of the Quran as per their own comfort. So here in Afghanistan, if they say that this is what our Islam talks about, no, it's not. They have completely covered a female in their country, and in fact, if I'm not wrong, what the news was talking about, that they have also ordered for dismantling one eye of the female, stating that a, 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 a woman doesn't need two eyes, only one eye is more than enough for the female. So such kind of they have been bringing their own personal uh, plans or the agenda, you could say, wherein they want that the woman should be suppressed to the fullest. She should be used only for manufacturing of children. And the children, yes, as the world has been talking about, that they want that the next team of their violent people should be created. So how will they do that? By doing such kind of activity wherein a kid uses a gun and kills someone in front of hundreds of people, thousands of people. This way the mind can be easily molded as per their own comfort, as per their own planning. So yes, these are religious fanatics, and it's completely condemnable. It should not happen. A child should be kept as a very they are very innocent. So whatever they will keep on putting in their minds, that will become the next generation. And this would never change if their mindset won't change. I mean, but I really look into it that religious fanatics of Afghanistan, they have taken Afghanistan only minus 500 years, I would say, and there is no scope of them to coming up. And almost on a similar platform, I feel that even Iran, wherein they have brought in a law wherein a girl who is past
Yes,
9 years old, they can get married. So
absolutely.
these are religious fanatics, and
Shamshavish,
wherever
also there has been outrage. What do you make of the kind of outrage that has come in from activists within Afghanistan to, of course, also the world? But will there be change then after this outrage and stark response?
I don't think so. Why? Because the entire world spoke about women going into hijab, their education being completely banned, and doing something wrong for on the woman and the child marriage, but nothing changed over there. Their mindset, the Talibanis mindset, is completely different. They were, since their childhood, on a similar way, they were groomed by these religious fanatics. So it is so deep rooted in them that they would never change, and they would never want it to change in their country, unless and until someone very rebellious with a very sharp mind, who knows that how change can come, how the regime would change, only then things would happen. But if you think that any outer country, be it America or be it Russia,
Because
or
this was seen earlier too. This was
it
seen
would,
earlier too in the Taliban regime, isn't it?
yes, yes. No, but it happened earlier. But if you will see from the 1950s of the story of the Afghanistan, things were very different. But eventually, from 1970s onwards, these religious fanatics started talking about it, and then eventually took over as the head of
What is
the
the logic? What is the logic behind such a punishment? Is it the deterrence? The fact that multiple people will see this and that will make it a deterrent? Is it the art of revenge that is being given by making a boy do it in full public view? What is the logic behind this punishment that was meted out?
The logic behind was that everyone sees it, so that no one would actually do or actually try to commit such kind of offense, be it rape, be it murder. But yes, so it was for the mindset that they won't do it. And why this pardon was there, that the person with whom this wrong happened, so that person could understand that killing is not only the answer. If you remember, a couple of months back, even in Egypt, similar thing was happening, wherein a boy was killed by an accident. So the mother was asked that whether you want to pardon that person or not. She actually pardoned that person, and he cried and he kneeled down and he said that that was wrong on my part. This is what it was, that you
Right.
make that person realize about what wrong that person has done. Because staying behind the bars, and you know that every hour, every day, you get to know that I will be hanged or killed.
Okay.
That is the bigger punishment compared to what you do by hanging someone. So that is why even here in India also, we have a reformatory jail over here. So this was the logic behind it, that you want to pardon the
All
person
right.
or
We've run out of time,
not.
Shamshavi Shah, and thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on this story.